Hey guys, no racing today. Thought I'd do something a little bit different, something that quite a few people have been asking for, and that's my review of the new overlay that I'm using of RaceLabApps. It's made by Istvan Fodor, and he's done an amazing job creating an overlay that is unique. It looks a lot newer than the other overlays that I've seen and used, and it's official. Yesterday, I cancelled my CAP subscription because this one is so good. So, if you haven't got it yet and you're interested um, in getting it, first thing you need to do is go to RaceLabApps.com. Now, you can download the app straight from this website, but I highly recommend you join the Discord server only because Istvan's very active on Discord, and any issues that you have with setting it up, um, or if you want to make suggestions, or if you want to join his Twitch stream, by all means, go and do that. So yeah, once you join the Discord server, go to yeah, you have a look at downloads, and this van always puts the latest update, which is now 10.1, which has only just come out, and the previous update, just in case you have issues. You can also download it from he's got a file on the Google Drive. So this is the app up here. OBS. I've been trying to figure out a way to get everything on the screen that you need to see. There we go. So this is the app itself. Once you download it, and jump into an iRacing session, the little green icon below will say online, and that's just connecting to same thing that all the other apps connect to. I love this app. It's fantastic. It's really customizable, and yeah, I've actually made a lot of changes. If you have a look at yesterday's overlay, I had a lot of information on my standing screen, and it was overlapping my mirror, and I realized that there's a lot of information. You can put as much in as you want. There's a lot in the standings as well as the relative, so I've slimmed it down a little bit, and we're going to go and have a proper look. So as far as the different overlays that you've got, this is very clunky. You've got your relatives that you can play around with, standings, which is in the top left, or you can have it wherever you like, to be honest. There's an advanced panel, which personally I don't use, but you can have things like your shift lights, you can have so many things. You can have your gear, everything. A fuel calculator, something else that I don't use, only because I don't do many races with pit stops. BattleBot, I definitely use a BattleBot. It's very, very cool. Something that I think a lot of the overlays have needed. It reminds me of, say, MotoGP overlay, where down the bottom it shows the time difference sector-wise between the guy in front and the guy behind. The flags, which is my ultimate favorite new update, where you can have so many flags, and it's very, very customizable. Last but not least, there is a garage cover, which I don't use. I like sharing my setups, but some people who don't, you go to the garage in iRacing, and this will pop up to block all of the things that you've done. You've got your chat overlay, which personally, through Twitch, I think is a little bit basic. I've suggested to Istvan to maybe have a crack at that, but one thing at a time. He's doing a great job, and we'll leave him be. There's also the settings, general settings up here, where you can reset a whole bunch of things, frequently asked questions. But once you're set up, It's very, very easy to use. I have a button on my Stream Deck which opens a whole bunch of apps. I've now included Istvan's app in that, so it pops up, and when there's an update, it will come up in your notifications for Windows, and all you have to do is close the app. It will automatically download the new version, and it will open up the new version. One last thing I have found is the RaceLab Twitch stream and YouTube video. The Twitch stream goes live automatically within the app, and I noticed on my task manager that it's using 6 meg per second. So if you find that your internet, especially those people who don't have a lot of bandwidth, is getting really laggy, check your task manager, and go back to the RaceLabApps. And when he's streaming, just press the pause button. At the moment it's on play, but when it's running, press the pause button, and it will automatically pause his live stream and won't interrupt your gameplay. So there's two ways of having the overlay on your screen. Personally, when I'm racing, I don't have any additional overlays apart from what iRacing has. It's got the iRacing relative and the deltas, and that's pretty much it, apart from the FPS and the little graphs that tell you how much CPU and GPU that you're using. So what you can do is copy this link to your clipboard. You can have it as an forced overlay mode, which will actually put the overlay on your screen, and once you do that, it will pop up. You can resize it, move it, change the settings within that little window, and yeah, but I find with other apps that I've used, it uses a lot more resources, and just having a little link within OBS for me works the best. You can also open it within a browser and within VR. Istvan does a hell of a lot of VR racing, and he's optimized this for VR. Personally, I don't use VR, so once again, jump onto his Discord page and he will guide you through how to set all that up. So next, what we need to do is go to OBS. So when you set it up in OBS, I have made a group called RaceLabApps, and I've put all of the different overlays, which are separate, into that group. The BattleBot, for example, I was having a lot of trouble with the BattleBot, and when I was jumping into a new session, it wasn't working properly. So I found if you go right click into the properties and scroll down where it says shut down source when not visible, and once I change scenes and go back to my game capture where the overlays are, it resets itself perfectly, and all of the overlays do the same. So once you've added a browser source, you add a browser source, let's just call it whatever, and you go to the RaceLabApps link, copy it to the clipboard, put it over to paste. That'll put the new box in. And there we go. There's a brand new relative on top. You then press Alt and just move it up. Doesn't really matter if you do or don't, but then you can put your box wherever you like. We're going to get rid of that because we have our own one. Now what I'll show you as well is once you're in the app, let's go to the standings, how I've adjusted mine. You've got a whole bunch of things. Istvan's just introduced a new font He's got 4 fonts now. I prefer the Formula one. Once again, like I said at the start, it's very unique and awesome to play around with. He's added a new font, iRacing, which is based off the iRacing font. It all comes down to personal taste. I personally, I don't like it. I like this Formula font. I've got it across the whole way. And then you've got how thick you want it, which individualizes it once again. Actually, that looks quite sleek. I might stick with that. Oh yeah. See, I'm learning as I go along too. The widgets, you can have this widget at the top here. You can have none, lap counter, strength of field. I'm trying to mix up the information so that there's not too much information across the board. I've also had a couple of complaints from my videos where there's just way too much going on. So I'm trying to slim it down a bit. And then the driver information. You can have all of this selected if you want. The classes, the license that they've got, safety rating, iRating gain, all of that information. I've got that in my relative now. I don't do much class racing, so there's not much point in that. I guess all it does is color the numbers there. You can have your car brand. There's so many things. One suggestion that Istvan said that there were issues with a version a long time ago was the last lap times weren't showing up properly. If you see Giovanni on the screen there. So hide that lap time after 999 seconds and that time will disappear. But it will refresh every time that there's a new lap. And then multi-class settings can have it where it shows the top of each class. I don't do much multi-class apart from the Porsche. The relative itself, let's have a look at what you can do with the relative. Those widgets are top and bottom of the relative. I'm going to go to regular. I think that's a nice, sleek font. A little bit easier to read. Widgets, like I said, you can have so many different things. Very, very customizable to what you want. I really like this. The driver information. So I've put a lot of the iRating and safety rating information in the relative box. I figure the guys that are around me, it's more relative what you lose or gain or what safety rating they are, and leave the standings nice and clean at the top left. But you can have a lot more. What lap they pitted, how long they pitted for, what gear they're in. Useful and useless at the same time. And the different formats for how you want to show their names. I like first name, last name, or first name, middle name, last name. Because we have a lot of Iberians in here with lots of names. Fuel calculator, like I said, I don't use that. But if you see up here, they all have a different browser URL. And so you would add it in OBS as a different source. I think it was Caps, which had all your overlays in the one source. But personally, I end up making individual sources because I found it a little bit clunky. I didn't know how to use it properly, which is more of a benefit for this app. So this is my review. Hopefully it's not too confusing. But one thing you need to remember is this is free. It is free. There's no subscription. There's no initial purchase. Go and download it. It's awesome. If you've got any suggestions of how you would use it or how I could personally improve it information-wise to make your viewing better, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll leave a link for Istvan's Discord and his webpage in the description down below. And yeah, I hope that covers all the bases. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you to everyone who subscribed lately. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, click on that link down below. And yeah, in the future, we'll give you some good racing. Catch you later, guys. Bye.